Hello Cabbage fans, we are looking at this IS-3 Berlin Victory Parade 1945 limited edition set from Cobi. Has 1,274 pieces and 4 important minifigures. So here's the back of the box with all the details here and who the minifigures are. Looks really cool, this set. The tank is a little bit questionable, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's have a look at the set in more detail. So here we have the set complete with the minifigures obviously and the tank itself. There's some other little bits and pieces like the engine display and the plaque, and we'll have a little look at all those in detail in a second. So here we have the 4 minifigures of this set that come on this little awesome little stand here with their flags. Obviously the Soviet Union flag is not showing the hammer and sickle because I don't think they can do that in Poland, I don't think. Not too sure. Let me know in the comments about that one, a bit strange. But first of all, we have the American George Patton here, who's a very interesting character indeed. Then we have Brian Robertson, the second one there. So he spent a lot of time in Italy in the Africa campaigns. Third up, this is a mouthful, we have Marie-Pierre Koenig, who was a colonel in the French army there. And last but not least, we have Georgy Zhirkov, who actually oversaw the Germans signing the peace treaty at the end of the war. So there's a nice little kind of stand here for all 4 minifigures, all very important in their own right. So I won't go into the history of them all, but do let me know why they can't have the old hammer and sickle on this. It's a bit strange, it's just red. Yeah, and same with there. A bit strange, that one. Let me know in the comments below. But very nice stand, yeah, very cool. Some cool minifigures there, some important minifigures. Printing excellent on them. Love all the details on their hats, etc. Very cool indeed. Let's have a little look at the little plaque you get. So obviously you get the standard plaque, which tells you what number set I've got, 757, IS-3, scale 1 to 28. And then we get this little stand for the engine, the Kharkiv V11. So we'll get the engine out and put it on there in a second. But let's have a look at this tank itself, shall we? Okay, here we have the IS-3, also known as Object 703, and it was developed in late 1944. And it had this like semi kind of hemispherical cast, which they said kind of resembled an upturned soup bowl. And it kind of became the hallmark of most of their tanks after this point. But this model itself, I mean, they've picked quite a difficult tank to replicate in bricks for me. I don't think some of it looks that great. The front is okay. We'll do a comparison on the video here. We'll get the actual tank up. This was quite difficult to put together, this part, with the hinges, etc. But this is so angular and sloped in real life. It was such a difficult tank to try and replicate. So they've done the best they can, I guess. Again, along here, we have a lot of angles and slopes. The turret isn't too bad, I guess. Again, where it's so like spherical, it's so hard for them to replicate that in bricks. So I'm not too sure why they picked this, to be honest, but they had a go. Nice printing on the back here. And some more detailing on the back here. All in all, the set wasn't too bad to build. The front was very difficult. As I say, very difficult indeed. This part here, it took me probably about half an hour to get all this to work. Then I realised I was doing something wrong. So read those instructions really carefully when it comes to this front part of the tank. But yeah, all in all, this lifts off. So we can have a little look inside here. There's some detailing inside the turret here. Some nice detailing there. I don't know if you can see that very well. And then these all lift up. So you can lift up everything for the turret. But nice size, nice shape to the turret. Not too bad there. And then we've got some inside details of the tank itself. Hopefully we can see these. Very small in there. But there's some shells and bits and pieces in there. It's a nice bit of detail in there. And then we can take off the engine bay. So the engine bay comes off quite nicely. Just lift it off there. So then we have the Kharkiv V11 in there, which we can take out. So you kind of lift up these little flaps. And then we give it a wiggle. And it should... Oh, it's very tight in there. That's what she said. It should come out. Let's just give it... No, that doesn't work. My fingers are too big for this. So, let's... it will come out. I think what you need to do, what I do, get the old trusty other brand separator and just give it a bit of a wiggle in there and you'll get it out. There we go. Look at that. So we've got the little engine in here. Very cool. This is, I think this is another one I've got as well. But very cool, nice detail on the engine there. And then you've just got the empty bay in there to put it back in. As I say, you can place it on this little stand here. So it just kind of snaps in with a couple of little studded plates there. I say, look, why do I do this on camera with it? It's always so fiddly. I've got the wrong way around probably. But I'm making the right pig's ear of this, isn't I? There we go. So that goes into there. And then you have the little engine on the stand. I quite like leaving them off there, to be honest, because I've got this Maybach one here from another set. So they're quite nice to have on a little display. You have a little display of engines, to be fair. But all in all, not a bad little set, but I think you're probably buying this set, like me, to get these guys. This is probably what you want, is these minifigures. Because they're very important figures in the war, and it's quite nice to have minifigures of them. So all in all, not a bad little set. You can pick this up from Cobi directly as a limited edition, or you can buy a standard edition which doesn't have the minifigures or all the stands and stuff. But they gave it a go with this very complicated shaped tank, I guess you can say, and they did an okay job of it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.